Egbert Gaye was a friend and longtime contributor to this show and to CJAD 800. And earlier this summer, he died of a heart attack at the age of 67. The sudden death came as a shock to all of us, but his work and his legacy lives on. The latest issue of Community Contact, which Egbert founded, is out now, and it is the first issue since his passing. The newspaper has been serving Montreal's English-speaking Black community for more than 30 years, and many felt it was important to continue Egbert's labor of love for those he has helped for so many years. Joining us now is Emar Mitchell, Egbert Gaye's son. Emar, welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thank you.
So, first things first, how are you doing? How's the family doing? I spoke to Elizabeth a week or so ago, and I know it's tough. How are you doing? How are you hanging in there?
I'm all right. It's been tough. It's been tough trying to put that issue up that you were talking the latest issue. Looking, because prior to that, I have not looked at a photo of my dad, and in order to do this issue, I had to look at a lot of photos of my dad. Mm-hmm. And it was very painful at the time, but my dad taught me to soldier through things, and I had to do it for him. So basically, I've been trying to hold on. There's times where it's difficult, but there's times where I know that everything happens for a reason.
And tell me about the work that went into keeping the paper alive. It's not easy when someone that's so central to an organization passes. Tell me about the work and the effort to make sure your father's legacy continues.
It's difficult because he set such a high standard. He was a perfectionist. He wanted to make sure everything was okay, and that first paper was hard because it was like you didn't know it. Like, I knew that it was going to be a tribute issue to him. I just didn't know how to start, basically. Mm-hmm. But I had some major help through Maya Johnson, and from CTV News, and she literally helped me get through this by contacting all of my dad's colleagues and friends and family and all that stuff to contribute to this issue.
And Maya, right? Yeah. Maya Johnson from CTV Montreal. She's the guest editor for this first issue back.
Yes, she is.
So tell us what obviously your father's a big part of this and his legacy here. Tell us about that first issue and what you've put into it.
Well, I do the graphic design. So basically, like I said, I had to look at a lot of photos because I had to do the photo collage for him. I had to make sure the photos were all right. I had to lay out all these letters and all these messages and all these stories for my dad. I had to make sure they all fit within the pages that I had to make sure it looked nice and proper, and just to give it a very good look, just to make my dad proud,
We're with Emar Mitchell, Egbert Gaye's son, talking about Montreal Community Contact, which you can now get the latest issue, which is back, the first issue since Egbert Gaye is passing. Emar, tell me about distributing the paper right now, and tell me about that process, because I know that's something you and your father used to share.
Yeah, that was also very difficult because it was me and my dad on the road, and this time around I couldn't, it wasn't the same. It wasn't the same vibe, I did have help. I had help. My stepmom came with me, and my a friend of the family came with me to help for moral support. And but again, those Fridays, will never be the same, So it was hard, but I did get a lot of support from the community. They were so happy to see me.
Emar, I think a lot of our listeners want to get this copy of the paper. Egbert had so many fans here at CJ 800. The outpouring of emotion, and Emar, I was away when your father passed. When I came back, we talked about Egbert, and I saw firsthand the outpouring of emotion from our listeners with the news of Egbert's passing. How our listeners probably want to pick up this newspaper, this edition. How can we find it?
If you used to, it depends on the area you're in, because we normally deliver the Community Contact before. That's where we drop it off. Mm-hmm. It's like for NDG, we drop out. There's Esposito's, LaSalle. There's several West Indian stores, Punjab. There's restaurants, Korean Paradise. It depends on the area. A lot of West Indian stores, a lot of restaurants. You could just go and ask, and they probably will provide it for you. Valentino's and NDG. I could go on.
Yeah, and Emar, now that you have the first issue celebrating Egbert's life, now that has been published and is out there, tell me about where Montreal Community Contact goes from here in the future.
Well, it's business as usual after this. We're going to try to put out the stories of the community from this point on, and we're trying to go forward. We're trying to, because newspaper is very scarce right now. We're trying to work on an app. We're trying to go have more of a digital presence. We'll have all that in the works. We just want to keep things alive and just keep telling our stories any way we can, and we have to reach people anyhow, any way we can also. So it's like we're just trying to go up from here and keep that proud.
Emar, I moderated a panel on Egbert's life at the Spice Island Cultural Festival. And when I was there, there were so many people that came up to me, members of Montreal's Black Anglo community, that, were CJ 800 listeners, and they listened to us. So I think we have a moment here to reach those people. Are you looking for people to join Montreal Community Contact? Are you looking for help and people to continue the mission here? And if so, how can someone contribute to Montreal Community Contact?
Well, they could contribute if they want to. If they want to let us know what's going on in terms of events, if they want to write articles, they could contact me. The number's on the paper, 514-489-4540. It's if they want to test out their skills as a journalism, they could and be a contributor to the Contact. Just give me a call. It doesn't, just give me a call and tell me what your story is, and we'll go from there.
Emar, I want to thank you so much for coming on and talking about Montreal Community Contact and your father, and you've got our support here at CJ 800.
I really appreciate it. Thank you.
That is Emar Mitchell. And let me just tell you about the website. MTL Community Contact, by the way, is the website. MTLcommunitycontact.com if you want to find out more about Montreal Community Contact.